it's a big deal because, we're having to play them. As I said earlier, there's no question Ohio State is good enough to beat us. They're good enough to beat anybody of these four. They're good enough to be the national champion. That's not a question at all. I didn't rank anybody who didn't play 9 games or more in the top 10. Nobody. And then after that, I said, okay, anybody who played at all, that's how I'll rank that, that group. And that's why they were 11. Nobody. I didn't even consider anybody. It had nothing to do with whether or not. I mean, I have all the respect in the world for Ohio State, and for people not to think that, I can't do anything about that. I think the world of Ryan Day. We've talked many times, and they're a wonderful program. We recruit against them because I think we have a lot of similarities in how we go about our business. So there's really nothing to it. As I said, you could change the name to any other name, anybody. Southern Cal had been 6-0. I wouldn't have had them in there. I just don't think it's right. It's not that they're not good enough. I just don't think it's right that 3 teams have to play 13 games to be the champion and 1 team has to play 8. So people have a problem with that. I don't really care. It's my poll, and it doesn't matter who the person was. It's 0 to do with Ohio State. And I also will remind the Ohio State people, I voted them in 2017 for the same reason. I left Alabama out. And guess who was mad at me then? Alabama people. And they were good enough to win it. And that wasn't a matter of whether Alabama was good enough to win it. They won it. I just felt like Ohio State deserved it. I felt like they played more games. They were the Big Ten champ. And to me, that mattered. So that's why I put Ohio State in ahead of Alabama that year. I played at Alabama. I went to Alabama. So, I'm an equal opportunity guy here, I guess. So I love the University of Alabama. I think the games matter. I don't think it's right that Texas A&M, that Oklahoma, that Florida, that Cincinnati got punished because they played more games. These games matter. That game against LSU, that was a big deal for Florida. And I know we can say, well, yeah, they should be one of the best teams. Well, the game's not played on paper. You can go back and look at the top 10 preseason rankings every year for the last 20 years. There's a lot of those teams that finish the season not even ranked. The game's not played on paper. And in this year, I mean, guys can, every time you step, guys can get injured. You can get beat. There's a lot of games that we've won where we weren't supposed to win. And there's a few that we were supposed to win that we lost. That's football. And so to just say, oh, well, they would have won, I don't think that that's right. And so that's nothing to do with Ohio State. If it had been anybody, give me another 6-0 team. It had been the same result. So people take it personal, but it's nothing personal at all. So that was up to the committee.
Was there any part of you that kind of thought, well, there's a reasonable chance we'll play Ohio State and maybe just to make it easier,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You don't think I know that's going to be public, but to me, right is right. And it's not always easy to do the right thing. I absolutely knew that I would be the poster child for whatever. Now I could probably run for governor in Michigan, might have a good chance, but probably not very popular in Ohio. But listen, I don't live my life that way. I'm not going to say, well, let me put them here and do something that I absolutely don't believe in. And again, it's not that they're not good enough. They could beat us by 2 touchdowns. They're plenty good enough to beat us. They're good enough to win it all. I just had a problem with the fact that 3 teams got to play 13 games and 1 has to play 8.